I know that we are in Bamberg County, but we often say in Orangeburg County, today is a great day. It is a great day, not only for South Carolina State University, but of course for Bamberg County and the state's thriving agricultural community.
Today, we welcome you to the site of a new research and demonstration farm here in the great town, the great metropolis of Olar, South Carolina. We also welcome you to the history in the making, because it's been some 50 years since SC State has owned a farm for the purpose of research and advancing its offerings as a land-grant institution. This farm will be a test site for the latest in farming technologies and equipment. And here we will train our students to do the very important work that will help preserve our environment. It's a great day for South Carolina State University, of course, but it's also a great day for the state and its inhabitants and those in the farming communities that put food on our tables each and every day.
Farming is changing as we know it, and we have to make sure and stay on the cutting edge to make sure our smaller minority farmers don't get passed by. So we have a lot of work that we have to do as far as educating our farmers and keeping our farmers on the cutting edge of technology, techniques, and how to thrive in this business. And Clemson are our partners, and I want to make this a point out here also. Clemson and South Carolina State do not duplicate programs. We do something called the joint plan of work. And what that is our folks from Clemson and our folks from South Carolina State get together every year and we plan our year out. We talk about where we're gonna be, what we're gonna do, what areas we're gonna work in, and all those kind of things. And we submit that joint plan to USDA. But one thing you do not know, before it was mandatory, Clemson and South Carolina State did this 15 years ago and became a model for the nation. So what actually happened was it became a requirement for every other state that had 2 land grants to do based on what we did together. So we've had a long-standing relationship with Clemson and USDA.
Farming is the largest industry in South Carolina, and as South Carolina State expands 1890 research and extension throughout the state, we believe lives will be changed, which can impact local communities such as Bamberg County. The research done here have a global impact. Thanks to the leaders of Bamberg County for welcoming us into the community and for their sacrifices.
In addition to serving as an on-site, ongoing education area and development for those attending, the farm will also create and support over 60 jobs. And listen to this, have an economic impact on the local region at an estimated $34.9 million.
The job of leadership of South Carolina agriculture is to find the doors of opportunity and hold them open. Now, any of you who are farmers know that you're not going to push that farmer through the door of opportunity. You're not going to pull them. You're just going to open the door and say, here's what's on the other side, and it's up to them to walk through it. When you ask them to walk through these doors, this future, you're asking them to do several things. Take a risk. Take a risk with your future. Take a risk with what you have earned over the last whatever number of years, maybe generations of your farm's success. You may ask them to put it at risk to do something different. Well, why and how would they do that? It's because of things like that will go on in this farm, because it's been shown to them that the risks can be managed. They can come out and kick the tires, if you will, and see what it's like to add a particular crop to their mix. And what are the benefits, what are the costs? So everything that we enjoy today because of the efficiencies of agriculture, everything we will enjoy over the next decade is because somebody collaborated, somebody took the initiative, somebody probably like Whiteside didn't take no for an answer and kept pushing and kept persevering. So we're here today because of a lot of efforts that have gone on, and in the years to come we'll look back on it and say that was a good day because it, a phrase I like to use, it changed the trajectory. Agriculture, it's on a trajectory of efficiencies. That one farmer feeding 150 people, 30 years ago, he probably fed 50 or 75, so that trajectory. But all along, something has come along to give that trajectory a little bump. Move it up to the next level. Today is one of those days.
We are in Olar, South Carolina, and I'm speaking with Dr. Lewis Whitesides. Dr. Whitesides is the Executive Director and Vice President for the Extension Land Grant Programs at South Carolina State University. And this was a very special day for Extension at South Carolina State University.
Yes, ma'am, it was. It was a very special day. What we just did here today is we had a ribbon cutting and a groundbreaking on our new farm in Olar, South Carolina.
And in order to have your researchers effectively apply their skills and transfer that knowledge, y'all haven't had a farm in 50 years. This is going to give them a place for demonstration and hands-on work with their students and with other people in the community?
Correct. You're spot on. That's exactly what's going to happen here. Being an extension service, a lot of things that we do is training. And so what better way to train a farmer on our farm? So if we set up demonstrations exactly how to be on their farm, they would absorb the knowledge a whole lot better than us going to the farm saying, hey, do this. But they come here and see how we grew it, and we can demonstrate, detail, document, and show how we grew it in the particular practices that we are trying to transfer to them. And it came out successful, and they go back, oh, my farm looks like that. I use these techniques, so I'm gonna be successful also.
Dr. Whitesides, we know that there's a crisis in attracting young people to come to agriculture, and part of that is because it's perceived as just being hard slog work. But actually, isn't it more instrument and data driven than it's ever been before and going to be in the future?
Yes, ma'am. Correct. It's really data driven now. You have data science, you have artificial intelligence. You know, a lot of our young folks really, you're right, think about getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning and they out working hard all day. Farming is becoming so automated and technology driven, where farmers now use drones, they use sensors. A lot of it is actually like playing video games. When you think about the pivots, you turn them on from a computer in your house. So you don't have to go out and water anymore. You go to your computer and hit the buttons and turn them on. You can put them to the right, to the left, how much water. So a lot of it is so mechanized right now that it's not as hard as it used to be, and it's a whole lot more efficient. So we have to educate our young folks on the new techniques of farming, and it becomes fun to them as opposed to the real hard work that they're used to seeing farms on TV.
And some of the things, although you have this marvelous acreage here, you have funds in hand to put some things in place that do represent the future, I believe. That would be like greenhouses and processing and such things?
Yes, exactly. So we will build 2 3,500 square feet greenhouses here on site. And what's unique about these greenhouses, they are state of the art. If you think about going into a greenhouse, you see one row of food going all the way down. Our greenhouses will be zones. We have 3 different grows going on at one time, 3 different temperatures, watering, hydroponics, that sort of thing. So we can segment our greenhouses into different areas. Now, the next part of that is a processing facility. So we'll be able to do value added. So after we produce something, we can transform it into something else, you know, to add to the actual product to make it more marketable, get it to the public, you know, all those kind of things. So that's a big deal with our greenhouse facility that we're gonna have here.
In addition, you'll have laboratories, and that will really allow your researchers to do the work that has to be done in a scientific way to document and back up what they do in the fields. Is that correct?
That's correct. We will have a research facility here, not only a research facility, a research and training facility. So we will have 4 independent laboratories. We'll have 1 multi-purpose laboratory where multiple researchers can collaborate together, as well as a training room. And that training room will have the virtual capabilities. So when we have on-site training with farmers, the farmers that cannot make it will be able to dial in virtually and still follow us. We'll have a multi-purpose room and we'll have 4 offices. But the research labs will allow our researchers to be on site and not have to take samples somewhere else to analyze. And the analysis will happen right here on the farm.
And I think that you are going to target smaller farmers and minority farmers who perhaps have not been able to take advantage of some of the research programs before.
Exactly right. Our target audience is the smaller minority farmer. And so we will emphasize them and emphasize better techniques, you know, using less resources and more profitability. So our programs will be targeted toward them to ensure that their farms stay profitable, all right? They have less inputs and more outputs, more so cash.
And we are in a part of the state that has beautiful farming land, and this is an opportunity for people to develop it in more profitable ways. And I think that Bamberg County has been very supportive, and you may even allow some of the people in the community to come in and have community gardens.
Absolutely correct. Bamberg County has been very, very supportive. When we approached them about this farm, they were immediate, say, hey, what do we need to do to help? They line up all the folks for us, help us put everything together, and here we are today in Bamberg County. So they've been very, very supportive. Really appreciative of Mr. Preston, the administrator, and Thomas, the assistant administrator, as well as Dr. Sojourner, out the local school district here. So everyone has been very supportive. But all of them said exactly what you said. Hey, we want to make sure our local folks get the benefit and participate. And we agreed to make sure that they will be able to do local farm plots here and do things like that and do community farms.
And you'll be able to start with high school students and even younger, explaining the joys and the rewards of agriculture.
Exactly. Now, one of the things we have to do is we have to get more agricultural workers. You know, we talked about the average age of the farmer is a little more than 60. So we got about 10 years before we reach be in a critical situation. But outside of that, even the support areas in like USDA and all the agriculture support organizations are going through the same thing. So everybody is looking for people to fill the voids of our older generation that are retiring out of these jobs and that sort of thing. So not only the farmers, but the support jobs also for all the things that support agriculture all need younger, more workers to fill these openings.
Well, Dr. Whitesides, with your enthusiasm and the wonderful funding and plans for the future of this, I think you're going to be successful. And I hope you'll let us come back and tell more stories about what's happening here in Ola.
Anytime. Our gate is always open to you.